Hi there, my name is Peter Miller from the MC Directory and welcome to the video series How to MC Weddings, the highlights and hazards of performing as an entertaining and organised Master of Ceremonies using your awesome public speaking skills to make people happier and in turn make you wealthier. Well, today's short instructional video is about jokes and why the wedding MC should never ever tell them. Listen up. As a pro MC since the late 90s, I've just told just 2 jokes at weddings, and that was because I was personally asked to by the groom, and secondly, the second time we were waiting to fill in. We were just filling in time for a very nervous speaker who was slowly returning from the restrooms. But interestingly, you know, if you read my client testimonials, they all talk about how funny and humorous I am as an MC, even though I don't tell any jokes. Of course, this advice flies in the face of a couple of cowboys from Canada who have made money promoting the ridiculous Wedding MC joke book. This rubbish is really dangerous. These marketers have told newbie MCs that they will instantly wow their audience by starting off their intro with a few jokes that make fun of marriage, portray the groom as a poor sod who didn't know any better. Wrong, this has Titanic written all over it. Don't do it. Unless you have a hysterically funny, clean, well-rehearsed, original and scripted routine, especially tailored for weddings, steer clear of these stupid joke books and instead act like a professional MC and trust the humour will develop from inside the event itself. Observe and look out for unusual or interesting things that are occurring often right in front of you. Make a clever comment that reveals your sense of humour and then move on. Remember, you have not been hired as a stand-up comedian. You're the MC. All you're trying to do is continue that easy mile of smiles that we talked about earlier. If you decide to not use the material, then because the timing is not right, well, write it down and keep it up your sleeve for when the opportunity arises. And this is usually during the speeches. That's the best time. You'll need to listen carefully to each speech and then respond appropriately. And I remember clearly the mileage I got from a groom in a fit of nerves because he didn't rehearse. He was fumbling around trying to explain the difference between romance styles between himself and the bride. And he sort of, well, I'm different. My romance comes in spurts. Oh, that was a gift. I then walked over to the bridal table and offered the groom a large napkin, loudly whispering, well, then you're probably gonna need this. Remember, a wedding reception is a celebration. So don't ever use the marriage is a prison sentence kind of dumb humour. All the old lines are so predictable, unintelligent, and the guests just went, oh no. And the same goes for tacky mother-in-law jokes. Steer clear. Any MC who has developed their own sense of humour should not need to resort to these lame attempts to create amusement, as suggested by the inexperienced joke book authors who admit to only emceeing a few weddings themselves. Only amateurs resort to telling boring gags, and it looks so desperate. Instead, take a look at the humour section inside the book You Can Be a Wedding MC, used by all professional MCs across the world, and note what funnies personally make you laugh. These are the ones you can build your sense of humour on because they will suit your personality, and your personality, as we know, as an MC, your personality is your core strength. So learn some one-liners and tell them to all your friends at every opportunity that arises, and for an even greater effect, personalise the stories with the names of the audience members. But we're getting ourselves ahead of ourselves here because there's more videos in the MC series about developing a sense of humour. Just know that each culture has its own particular sense of what is funny and what's offensive. And if you're unsure whether to use a comment or not because it's a bit edgy, then remember the MC's credo. If in doubt, don't. No one will know what you didn't say. So, developing a sense of humour has so many benefits. Make it a part of your MC skill set. This has been Peter Miller from the MC Directory. We're going to see you on stage more often. Bye for now. Oh, and by the way, if you want to read about how I went from a super serious young man to a funny dude, then the whole story is in here, up front in control. Look up the chapter called Using Humour as an MC.